In today's video, I'm going to show you how to think like a billionaire. You guys don't know who I am. My name is Ross Johnson. I'm the founder of smartcoach.com with my wife, Jessica, and I make these videos simply to share with you all of the lessons that I've learned in my entrepreneurial journey, growing 3 7-figure businesses by the time I was 30, and everything that I continue to learn as I grow my businesses and as I continue to progress as an entrepreneur, hopefully to the 8-figure per year level. And I want to share those lessons with you on here when I learn them to benefit you and hopefully shortcut your path to success. So in this video, I want to talk to you about how billionaires think. And one of the things that I've observed studying billionaires and studying millionaires, people who are very, very successful. Now I'm going to do that by sharing a very, very simple framework with you around how you can make better decisions. And the reason why this is so important, even though I don't see so many people talking about this online today, especially in the coaching space and in my industry, a lot of people throw around the word mindset and psychology, but they don't really dig into making better decisions. And the thing about making better decisions is that your life right now is simply the summation of the decisions that you have made. So if you were presented with the same opportunities as Elon Musk, and you made the same decisions, you would be where Elon Musk is right now, which is that he's the wealthiest person on planet Earth. And so making better decisions is probably the most important thing that you could be spending your time thinking about. And really all it comes down to is training yourself how to think. And that's something that not a lot of people actually consider doing. They just kind of go through their life and they pick up things from their parents when they're a kid, which usually your parents, unless they're incredibly successful, do not think about things the right way. Or they can think about things better, and they could be making better decisions to be more successful. And so if your parents weren't super successful, and you've gone through your life with the same decision-making frameworks that they have, you're probably going to get a similar amount of success as your parents, unless you've changed the way that you think about things. And even then, the decision-making frameworks that you have accumulated, probably unconsciously, throughout your life are probably not that good if you've never really sat down and learned how to think. So this field of study is called mental models. And I'm going to share with you one mental model inside of this video. And if you like it, I will share more with you because personally, I find this extremely interesting. How to think, how to make better decisions is very interesting to me. So I'm happy to share more of these with you. But today I want to share with you something called second order consequences. That is the mental model that we're going to be going over today. Now, what is a mental model? A mental model is basically a decision-making framework or a framework that you can use to think better. So when you're encountered with an opportunity or something happens, instead of just reacting, you apply one of these decision-making frameworks or one of these thinking frameworks to the situation, and it gives you a specific lens to look at that situation through, and it provides a massive amount of clarity for you, and it allows you to get better results. And so the most successful people on earth, millionaires, billionaires, they have a Latticework is what it's called. It's just a library of different frameworks that they use, mental frameworks, and they apply them to their problems to get very predictable outcomes and always be making good decisions. Now, unsuccessful people, they don't have this. They don't think about this. And this is really one of the biggest differences that I've identified when it comes to people who are not successful and people who are ultra successful and just completely dominate markets and are very successful repeatedly over and over and over again. And so second order consequences, which we're about to get into in a minute, it really comes down to long-term thinking. And I want to kind of put this into perspective for you and explain to you that the longer term you think about something, the better the decisions are that you make. So they did a study on children with marshmallows. It was called like the marshmallow study. And basically, you can look this up. I'm sure you probably heard of it. It's very famous. But basically what they did with these kids was they told these kids, they put them in a room and they gave them marshmallows. And they said, we will give you a marshmallow right now, and if you eat it, you will not get another marshmallow. But if you don't eat it, then we will give you 2 more marshmallows. And there was a huge reward, right, for them not eating it. And they didn't tell them how long it was going to take. So they weren't like, sit down for 10 minutes, and if you wait 10 minutes, then you're going to get another marshmallow. They said, here's your marshmallow. Now you're going to wait for an undecided amount of time. And if we come back in the room and you haven't eaten the marshmallow, then we're going to give you more marshmallows. And most kids ate the marshmallow. And what was interesting about it was that the kids who didn't eat the marshmallow and the kids who delayed gratification and focused on long-term thinking, they actually studied these kids throughout their lives. And the people who ate the marshmallows were less successful than the people who didn't eat the marshmallows in their life. Now, I know that sounds like a really simple example, but it's very, very interesting because it shows that long-term thinking and delayed gratification creates more success and is a better frame of reference for thinking. And that's where it comes down to second-order consequences, which is what I want to explain to you in this video. So second-order consequences is basically the second consequence after you make a decision. So an example of this could be like if you ate ice cream, then the first consequence of eating ice cream and making that decision would be that you ate ice cream and it was delicious. The second consequence might be that you are now bloated and you don't feel good. Now, the third order consequence might be that you have now gained weight from eating ice cream. And then after that, it might be that you didn't sleep good because you ate ice cream late at night and the sugar affected your blood and now you didn't sleep good and that affected your next day. And so decisions have a long tail effect. When you make a decision, it's not just about what happens right now, it's about what happens after that and after that and after that and after that and after that. So there's first, second, third, fourth, fifth order consequences to every decision that you make. It's almost like a ripple effect. And this is something that most people don't realize. And the untrained person will think about the first order consequence. And that is pretty much how most people live their life, is they just think, ooh, like ice cream sounds great. I will eat the ice cream because it's going to make me feel good. I'm going to eat the ice cream. It's going to taste good. And that's the end of that decision. But what they don't realize is that the ice cream is very high in sugar and it's going to affect their digestive system. And it's also high in calories and it's going to make them fat if they do that frequently. And it might affect their sleep depending on what time of the day that they actually eat the ice cream at. And once they eat the ice cream, they might want to eat ice cream again tomorrow because the sugar is going to make them crave more ice cream. And so there's all of these consequences behind making a simple decision like eating ice cream. And so right now, what I want to do is I want to actually show you a chart of what a good decision looks like and what a bad decision looks like, so that you can understand why people really aren't as successful as they want to be and why some people are very successful because they understand what I'm about to show with you. So when you're looking at this image that I have on the screen right here, you can see that there is upside, there is downside, and there is something called the effect horizon. The effect horizon is from left to right. So basically this line here is showing what happens after you make a decision from left to right. So this decision was really good at first. There was a bunch of upside, and then after the upside, there was a bunch of downside, okay? And so this would be an example of a bad decision. Bad decisions, what's tricky about them is that they're usually good at first, right? They're usually good when you first make the decision. Like eating ice cream is a really good example of this. When you eat ice cream, the first consequence is upside. Like you see here, you have upside. And then after the upside, the very short amount of upside, it's just nothing but downside. Like you are going to eat a lot of sugar. It's going to affect your digestive tract. You're not going to be in great shape. It's not good for your heart. Like ice cream is bad for you. It's bad for you, right? But it tastes so good. So when you eat the ice cream, you have immediate upside. But after that, it's nothing but downside. This is what all bad decisions look like. There usually is some upside in the beginning and then nothing but downside after that. And that is why it is a trick for most people, is because they get sucked into the bad decision by doing what is good for the first consequence, but not thinking about second order consequences, third order consequences, fourth order consequences, and the long-term effect of that decision. That's why long-term thinking is incredibly important as an entrepreneur and in life in general. Now, if you get suckered into these short-term thinking and these short-term decisions, you're not going to have a good life, because long-term, you're going to have nothing but downside. And you're going to be constantly looking for these quick wins. And you don't really want quick wins in life. And so some other examples of this could be like buying a TV. So buying a TV, it might seem like a great decision, right? But if you really think about buying a TV and making that decision, it's really good at first. You get the TV and you watch it, right? But then there's not really a lot of upside after that, because now that you have the TV, you've spent money on the TV, right? And so because you spent money on the TV, you can't not watch the TV. So you actually, because you spent the money, now you have to watch the TV. And now that you're watching the TV, right, to get your money's worth out of it, now you're spending your time every day watching the TV. And that time is probably not very productive. And the TV could cause you to stay up late at night, binge watching TV shows that get you sucked into them, movies that get you sucked into them. And then the effect of that might be that you're spending even more time watching TV, and that you actually make it a habit. Now it's habitual at night. You're watching TV and you're staying up late, which now might affect your sleep. And now you're not sleeping as good, so you're not actually performing during the day as much as you were before, which makes you want to watch TV even more because you're tired. And it's just this horrible cycle of, having immediate upside for entertainment, but then spending money, staying up late, watching a lot of TV, becoming addicted to the TV, creating a habit around the TV, spending all of your time watching TV when you could be doing something productive or healthy with your life. And it's just downside at that point. Now, obviously, it depends on what you're using the TV for, but for the most part, it's usually binge watching shows on Netflix for most people, right? And if you're not as successful as you want to be, that might be an opportunity where you could spend more time on your business, more time on your relationship, more time on your health, going to the gym, whatever it is. And so buying a TV is like one of those things where there's immediate upside, and then there's just nothing but downside after that. The same thing for staying up late. So you might get invited to a party and you might really want to go because it's super fun. It sounds like a great idea. Now, I'm not hating on parties or anything like that, but I'm just pointing out different decisions that people make in their life. Going to a party is a decision. Buying a TV is a decision. Eating ice cream is a decision. These are all decisions. And going to the party is the second order consequence of that, is that, you're going to have a ton of fun at the party, but you're probably going to stay up late. And you might stay up later than your normal bedtime. And now that you've stayed up late, you are going to be tired the next day. And now that you're tired, you're going to do less work. And if you do less work, you might start making less money. And because you make less money, you might start being stressed out. And since you stayed up late, you might stay up late again the next night, because that's typically what happens to people, is they start getting in a cycle of staying up late, and then they're tired, and then they're not producing work the same way, and then they're not making as much money, and they're just not really able to get ahead because they don't have the energy that is required to move the needle in their business and move the needle in their life. So this is what bad decisions look like. They look good at first. The first order consequence is awesome. It feels good. It feels aligned. And then after that, there's nothing but downside. And these are the decisions that I see most people making today. I coach a lot of people, and these are the decisions that I see a lot of people make. It's just immediate gratification decisions. This is going to feel good right now, but I know long-term it's not good. Now I want to show you what a good decision looks like. Typically, good decisions suck at first, and then long-term they're good. So it's the exact opposite of what a bad decision obviously looks like. So most people don't make good decisions in their life because they are addicted to instant gratification, and they're addicted to getting a result right now and feeling good right now. And they don't want delayed gratification. It's just like that Marshmallow Experiment. Most of those kids just ate the marshmallow, right? But the ones that didn't were way more successful in their life, regardless of the marshmallow, because they use that same type of thinking applied to everything, not just eating marshmallows. So again, this is what a good example of making a good decision looks like. It is usually immediate downside, then it's long-term upside. So an example of that would be like going to the gym, right? When you first start working out in the gym, like personally, I love working out in the gym, right? Like I love it. I love it now. It's a habit, everything like that. I feel good when I work out in the gym. But, if you're out of shape and you have to go back to the gym, going to the gym sucks. We can all agree that going to the gym is hard work. You have to go in there, you have to produce numbers, like you have to push the limits, you have to stress your body out, you have to push yourself. And so at first, going to the gym kind of sucks. It's a lot of hard work. But the long-term benefit of going to the gym is very, very good, right? So you go to the gym, the first order consequence is that it sucks, you sweat, it's exhausting, you're tired, you really put in the work, and it's difficult. The second order consequence of that is that you might feel really good after that, right? Like you might have like an endorphin rush. You might feel like you have high energy during the day. And then that night, the third order consequence, you might actually sleep better because you're tired when you go to sleep, and you might go to sleep earlier. And then because you went to sleep earlier, the next day you might have more energy, right? And you start getting into a positive feedback loop with all of the second, third, fourth, fifth order consequences of making that decision to work out. And it's the exact same way in business. So the first consequence of starting a business is that it fucking sucks. Like you have to, try really hard without seeing any results, basically. If you're starting a business, I remember when I started a business, it was very difficult. I didn't get any results for a long period of time, and it took a lot of work. It was frustrating. It was overwhelming. It was exhausting. I didn't know what to do. It was confusing. It cost me money to get information that I needed to get, and I just didn't know what I was doing. And so there was massive downside at first when I made the decision to start a business. But after a long enough period of time, I started to figure it out. And once I started to figure it out, well, the second, third, fourth, fifth order consequences were that I was able to leave my job. So now I have time freedom. I have location freedom. I can go anywhere I want in the world. I make so much more money than I've ever made at a job. And I'm way happier, and I'm way more connected and passionate about what I'm doing. And so the long-term effect of starting a business is incredible. Now, it's the same way with investing. So this is the last example that I'll give you. Most people don't get started investing because they don't understand compound interest. When you first start investing and you start utilizing compound interest, for like 10 years, it looks like your money is doing nothing. But then after about 10 to 15 years of compound interest, your money starts to double like every year or something like that. Like it just starts going exponential. And most people never get to that point because they might start investing, but then they don't wait it out. They don't wait out the downside period. And they basically start investing or don't ever start investing because they're looking for a bigger benefit right now than focusing on the long-term effect of what that investment can actually do for them. So this is second order consequences. This is a mental framework that you can use, and it's a mental framework that billionaires and millionaires and very successful people use all the time. Like this is the only thing that I see them using all the time, is they are totally fine doing something and having it suck for a very long period of time so that they can get really great rewards and returns that other people can't even imagine later on. So the lesson that I want to instill in you inside of this video is to start thinking more about your decisions. Pause. You make hundreds of decisions per day. When you're making that decision, think about it. Why am I making this decision? Is this decision immediately good right now? What's the first, second, and third consequence of me making this decision? If you can start thinking like that, you're going to start making way better decisions, whether in any area of your life. You can apply this to anything: health, fitness, relationships, your business, making money, doing things in your personal life. So today I want you to go out there and I want you to start thinking about what are the consequences of my decisions, and is there immediate downside but long-term upside? Is there immediate upside but long-term downside? And I want you to start making decisions that have positive second, third, fourth, and fifth order consequences, but might not have a great consequence the first time you do it, like working out or building a business or starting to invest. Those are the decisions that you want to make. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more stuff on psychology, mental models, how to think and be successful. Comment down below, let me know, and be sure to subscribe to the channel. See you soon.